My name is Sean McGrath. I'm the founder of WideAwakeNews.com and a host on the Rinse Radio Network. We are all being led down a path together. And it doesn't matter if you call yourself a Democrat, a Republican, a conservative, a liberal. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what political party or ideology you belong to. We are all heading down this path together. And I say all because of the people who are leading us down the path are such a small minority. They don't even qualify as a 100th of 1%. But these uber power elite are leading us to a place that looks like it's going to be the ultimate financial collapse, not only of this country, but the planet. Now, the mainstream media, the elite in Washington, D.C., and the power brokers in New York on Wall Street all want us to be distracted and fighting amongst ourselves with another crisis. You know, today I had the opportunity to watch Wasserman Schultz come on television and talk about the immediate urgency of the passage of the president's jobs bill. Another piece of legislation brought to you under the guise of crisis. Immediate spending must happen. Immediate action must be taken in order to save the economy in this country. You know, the law of diminishing return dictates that we are getting less and less every time we spend billions and billions, if not trillions of dollars in order to, quote, rescue our economy with no rescuing occurring. We see who's being bailed out and saved. We see who's being made whole, and we see who's suffering, and that is Main Street. $470 billion were promised it's paid for. We find out that the uber elite, the oil companies, end up paying about $40 billion of the 470 over the next decade. Corporate jet owners end up paying $3 billion over the next some years. And in fact, an article attached to this video shows that this bill can't even get passed in the Senate right now, let alone the House of Representatives. But the ultimate plan is highlighted at the bottom of this article. We'll send it to the super committee. No longer can we govern with 535 members of Congress in the Senate and the House of Representatives. We need a body of 12 to dictate to the American people how your future will lead to financial enslavement. While all this distraction occurs here in the United States, you know, and the mainstream media focuses on yet another crisis legislation that promises to sink you further into the hole, we see a crisis in Europe blowing up, literally days, if not hours away from a liquidity crisis that's going to make 2008 look like a church social. You know, and in the middle of the day, with Germany ramping up saying they're preparing for default, when the people of Greece are borrowing money at the rate of 111% for the one-year bond, we have the mainstream business media and the Financial Times release a story at the last minute with an hour to go in the markets saying that China is going to step up and buy debt of Italy. Now, we find out at the close, after the market rallies over 150 points, closes up positive for the day, that China has been looking at doubling their potential debt holdings of Italy for months now. There was no immediate deal. And in fact, they're talking about doubling their debt holdings, which brings them into the neighborhood of 20 billion euros, which isn't even a drop in the bucket compared to what is awash with debt in Europe. So we're in the middle of a liquidity crisis that is going to literally freeze the markets on this planet, devastate what's left of the middle class. And here in this country, we are celebrating the Freedom Tower of 9/11 over the weekend. When in all reality, nothing could be further from the truth when we talk of freedom in this country. We have no freedom. We have no freedom of our financial future. We have no freedom of our destiny. And soon we're going to be offered a solution that just obliterates our borders, obliterates our sovereignty, not only here in the United States, but in Europe as well. And the reason we will have to do this is because of crisis. We will be offered a global liquidity crisis, and the only answer will be what they've been saying all along: financial global governance. Stories are attached. That's all I got.